Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show weekly podcast presented by Allen Music Shop. Co-hosts Tim Batts and 20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year Josh Williams will talk about the latest bluegrass news, interview folks in the industry, and give you lighthearted stories and music tips along the way. Now, here's Tim and Josh.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Jeff.
Thank you, Dr. Jeff. Here's Tim and Jeff.
I'm Josh, not Jeff.
Oh, man. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's right. We're already off to a good start. This is how this evening has been, folks. So
Exactly. Yes.
this is good.
Been a hodgepodge of confusion going around here, but we love bringing you this amazing bluegrass podcast from AllenMusicShop.com in Paducah, Kentucky, and thank them for being our presenting sponsor. Thanks to our other great sponsors, and we got a great episode lined up for you tonight. We got lots of cool things. We got some news, and Josh is going to play a little bit on the guitar, and our special guest tonight, we are plumb tickled about having Danny Roberts from the Rascals.
Danny Roberts.
Yeah.
Mandolin extraordinaire.
He is that for sure.
Or would it be mandolinist, I guess?
Mandolinist, I don't know. Pianist, violinist, mandolinist. I don't know. That's a good question. But anyway, he's going to be here and we can ask him.
He's the most mandolinist guy I know.
He is, man. He's a masculinist mandolinist, I'll tell you.
Wait a minute.
But we're tickled about talking to him here in a little bit. And so first of all, we're going to talk about some... you had a good day, man?
You know, it started off a little rough today.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, the dentist thing.
Yes. By 7 a.m., I was sitting in a dentist chair.
Oh, yeah. Not a good way to start your day.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I think that I want to keep my teeth, you know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I do know a lot of folks that don't have theirs anymore that, but hey, I'm not there yet.
Well, that's good. That would stink to be singing on stage and your false teeth go flying out or something.
Oh, man, could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be something. We were at the Kentucky Opry the other night for Bluegrass night, and one of the guys actually said that. I just thought about that. He goes, "Thank y'all for being here. If our teeth fall out and y'all catch them, just hand them back to us."
Oh, my gosh.
Like Don Goff said that. So I thought that was funny. But
Oh, my goodness, that is funny.
yeah. But anyway, we're it's a beautiful day here in Western Kentucky, and just summertime's rapidly approaching, and nothing prettier than the bluegrass state in the summertime.
Yeah, that's very true.
The grass is so green it's blue.
It's right. It actually, there's places in this state that remind me so much of Ireland. Mm-hmm. And I've been to Ireland several times, and it's just so green. The green is just unbelievable, you know.
It is green.
And there's places like that around here I've seen.
It's getting that way now, and that's for sure. Well, we love our state, love our music, and in news today with BluegrassToday.com, we are so saddened to learn about the passing of Jim Mills.
Yeah, still shocked on this one.
Yeah.
So young, only 57 years old.
Yep.
And had a heart attack in his home. Probably one of the nicest guys I ever met.
Yeah, I've never met him personally, but I know his music and know he's been playing banjo for a long time. And
I got to meet him at the Kentucky Opry.
Really?
Yeah, he was with Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver, and they came to perform. And I met him there, and just immediately, which I was just a 10-year-old kid just starting to play banjo. And when he found that out, he was just like the coolest to me.
Yeah.
So nice.
That's cool.
Encouraging, you know, and he was the first artist. And back then, he, like myself, was playing, he had some Deering banjos that he was playing at the time. It was before he got, real big into the trading and selling and all that kind of stuff. But he was the first one that I knew of that Deering ran an ad that said Deering banjos. It said Jim Mills and Deering banjos, a class act. That's all it said. And it had his picture. And I was like, that's cool.
No doubt.
That's a really cool way of saying that.
It sure is. Well, John Lawless wrote a great article about him on BluegrassToday.com. And I just thought it was so cool his grandfather played, banjo. His dad played banjo, and he's third generation banjo player. One of the greatest things I read in this article was that when he was a kid, when he first heard Foggy Mountain Breakdown, he was so enamored with Earl Scruggs and the banjo and everything, and he would practice that song with a toothpick stuck between his two front teeth because he wanted a gap in his teeth like Earl Scruggs.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is great. I mean, wow, what a story.
I don't know how many people that's happened to over the years as far as like being that enamored with Scruggs, but I remember that happening to me when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, it did. Like the moment that I heard Flatt and Scruggs for the first time, I loved it, and I wanted to know more about Earl and listen to more Earl, and I would wait for Dad to come home. In the evening time, he was working for TVA, so I was waiting for him to come home after work so we could eat supper and then sit down and listen to these old records. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. He's just 57 years old. That's just 2 years older than me, and it's just really an eye opener for sure.
Way too young.
Yep.
And I hate that it seems like here lately we've always had somebody to talk about like this.
I know.
And I hate this.
So we've started this podcast in January of this year, in 2024, and it does seem like more often than not we've had to on the news segment of our podcast have to mention somebody that's passed away, and typically it's been somebody that's passed away unexpectedly, and so not a good thing.
I'm still shocked about that. It's just the nicest guy. Just can't really believe he's gone.
I know. Yeah, it's a sad thing for sure.
So we definitely want to keep him or his family in our prayers.
Yes, for
sure. And man, I know that they're dealing with a huge loss.
Absolutely.
And hard to really talk about, but and unfortunately we had here amongst our Bluegrass Association here, around Western Kentucky, we had a fine lady. She passed away. She actually had fallen early in the morning and had, I guess, hit her head really bad.
Yep.
And then about an hour later, she was talking out of her mind, and I guess she ended up with a couple of brain bleeds. And anyway, she passed on. Miss Ruth, she was golly.
Yeah, Ruth Greenfield and her husband Carl were avid bluegrass fans, and even mentioned that in her obituary, how much they love bluegrass and how much she loved bluegrass music, and they've been a huge part of what we do at the Kentucky Opry. Carl's even they both have served on the board of directors, like you and I do now, for the Jackson Purchase Friends of Bluegrass, and an organization that your dad started in the early 90s. And so they've been a big part of bluegrass music in Western Kentucky, and she will sure be missed for sure.
She was one of the nicest ladies.
Yep. Sweet lady. But in other news, I know if you listen to Sirius XM a lot, I know Joe Mullins has been on there a lot talking about the Industrial Strength Bluegrass album that's come out, and my old buddy, Mr. Josh Williams actually has a cut on there.
Sure do. Me and Bradley Walker and Russell Moore. We're doing a little Larry Sparks thing.
Yeah, I heard that the other day, and I was like, well, listen to there.
Somebody else that's on that, the band, there's two guitar players on that, actually. One of them is Kenny Smith, and he's kind of playing capoed up the way that Sparks played on a particular song, and then I'm playing as well, and of course it's actually three songs that have been put together. Ben Isaacs was Ben Isaacs and Joe kind of produced the thing and made it all work out, and just a really cool thing. I love listening to it, and that's the first time that I have ever gotten to record with Bradley or Russell Moore.
Yeah, well, it's pretty neat. Let's listen to it real quick, just a little bit of it here.
So blow your whistle, freight train, take me far on down the track. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff right there. So it's you singing Dark Holland, and Bradley comes in with a face in the crowd, man.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Peels the paint off the wall, man.
He sure does.
Sadder than a one-car funeral right there,
Lord
man.
Jesus, that man can sing.
Yes, he can.
Oh, and then Big Russ sings these old blues, and that's cool, man. Y'all did awesome on that.
I got to sing lead on the chorus of that one, and Russell Moore sang tenor to me. That's like a dream.
Yeah, man. That's bucket list for sure right there.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. Well, we're looking forward to having Russell Moore on our podcast one of these days soon, hopefully. And
Definitely. They're going to be in our area not too long from now.
in July. They're going to be playing right here in Ballard County in far western Kentucky, and we're plumb tickled about that. So
Got the old hometown boy from Ballard County in the band.
right. Yeah. Russell's bass player is Colton Baker, who's a good friend of mine and lives right here in Ballard County. And
Well, and he's a friend of mine, too.
well,
so
that's true. But
so...
he's a friend of mine. I love him more.
Well, that may be so. But that boy can sing.
That boy can sing, and you got
That
to play
boy
with
can
him,
sing.
and you and Dalton Harper, and
Yeah, that will be happening more often.
yeah, that's cool. Well, speaking of that, Dalton is going to be singing at the Jackson Purchase Friends of Bluegrass Night at Kentucky Opry in June for our Bluegrass Night, June the 7th, first Friday of the month. Dalton, so I don't know if he's asked you to sing with him or play with him or not, but
He hasn't yet, but I'll be ready if he needs me to.
Yeah.
If I can find somebody to borrow a mandolin from.
Well, I bet we can do that. Danny Roberts is going to be on here in a little bit, so we'll see if he can
Oh, I
borrow
bet
it.
he's got a good one. At one time, he had one of mine.
He worked on mine, the one you played. So
Well, yeah, he ended up buying mine though.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
That's cool.
I had a Gilchrist,
that's awesome.
amazing mandolin, but I ended up selling it because I got offered a really good chunk of money for
Yeah.
it, and I sold it to Aubrey Haney.
Yeah.
And Aubrey played it for a while, and then Danny ended up with it, and I believe Wayne Benson has it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He can play the mandolin a little bit, can't he?
boy. Yeah, that's another couple that we need to try to
Yeah.
get on here. Would be Wayne Benson and then Kristen Scott Benson.
Yep. She was on the Acoustic Shop podcast. I was listening to that today, and them boys had her on there, and they shared your video on there when you were visiting
that
with
was
the
fun.
Acoustic Shop in Springfield, Missouri. And so I actually posted that on our Facebook page, the Hometown Bluegrass Show. If you can check that out, Josh doing a little compilation of songs with John there at the Acoustic Shop. And so check out our Hometown Bluegrass Show Facebook page, and please like and share if you would. We'd appreciate that very much. And
Yes,
speaking
absolutely.
of which, we are the Hometown Bluegrass Show, so we like to feature a hometown in each episode. And with our guest being Danny Roberts tonight, the hometown we're going to feature tonight is Litchfield, Kentucky.
Litchfield, Kentucky, right there on the WK Parkway.
That's right. That's right. Kind of between Paducah and Louisville, somewhere.
Yeah,
kinda halfway.
Elizabethtown.
Yeah, Elizabethtown and that area there. So beautiful part of the country, and Litchfield is not only home of Danny Roberts, but another famous fiddle player from there.
Yep. Jimmy Mattingly.
Yeah, old Garth Brooks' fiddle player and one of
Original
the original
member. Yep.
Graskels, and
That's right.
him and Danny. I will ask Danny, but I think they grew up across the holler from each other and played music together and went to school together and whatnot. So plumb tickled about Litchfield, Kentucky being our hometown feature of the week, and they are population 6,500 residents in Litchfield.
Wow, salute
to Litchfield,
That's
Kentucky.
right.
So plumb tickled about that.
6,500.
Yeah, that's bigger than I thought. I didn't think they had that many
I
people
know.
there.
You know, they used to have, just not far from there, in Litchfield, they used to have a fiddle contest down
Oh,
there.
really?
Mm-hmm. And it was at one time down at the Rough River Park. They had the Kentucky State Championship for a while. I don't know if that's still a thing or not. I need to check on that. Maybe Danny will know when we talk to him.
Yeah, we'll ask him here a little
Definitely.
bit when we get him on the phone. So,
But I got to play with Jimmy Mattingly down there.
oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. When I was about 13.
Oh, cool.
Got to play banjo with him.
Wow.
Little banjo.
Little banjo with the fiddle player. We're going to take a real quick break, just 90 seconds to give our sponsors some airtime and thank them for their support for bluegrass music right here on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. When we come back, Josh is going to give us a guitar lesson, pick us a tune, and then we're going to talk to Danny Roberts. So you guys Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, don't go nowhere.
Allen Music, located in historic downtown Paducah, Kentucky, is your source for fine guitars and all types of acoustic instruments. At Allen Music, we are experienced and enthusiastic players of everything we offer. Allen Music is family owned and has been serving musicians since 1976. So stop by and thank them for supporting bluegrass music. Allen Music, 215 Kentucky Avenue, downtown Paducah, or check them out online at allenmusicshop.com.
Custom Automotive in Calvert City, Kentucky has been a family-operated business for over 50 years. When you call Custom Automotive, you'll talk to an experienced tire and wheel expert. They install wheels and tires on thousands of vehicles every year in addition to their online sales. Stop by and thank them for supporting bluegrass music. Custom Automotive, Highway 62, Calvert City, Kentucky, 270-395-7611. Or visit them online at customautoonline.com.
The Lake House Inn at Sled Creek has undergone complete renovation in 2023. Our outdoor space is unlike any other at Kentucky Lake. With 2 in-ground pools, 18 rooms, and 4 cabins, we're just a stone's throw away from Kentucky Dam. If you're looking to make memories with your family, this nostalgic inn is for you. Welcome to your lake house, where modern meets rustic and becomes home. Reserve online at lakehouseinn.com.
Hey, this is Danny Roberts with the Grascals. You're listening to Tim Batts on the Hometown Bluegrass Show.
Hey, what about me?
I told him to just say my name.
You would do that.
Yeah, it's like, Josh who? I can't remember. Oh, no, that's... He recorded that for me for my radio show, and so I can't ever get you to host that with me. So yeah,
Hey, I'd be happy to do it.
I know we did it once, so we need to do that again.
We do need to do it again.
Play an hour worth of Josh Williams' favorite bluegrass songs. That'd be all Tony Rice, one after the other.
Very well could be. Tony Rice, J.D. Crowe, Flatt and Scruggs, maybe a little Doyle Lawson.
Yep, that'll be all right. That'll be all right. Well, it's time for Josh Williams to teach us how to play guitar. He has a beautiful Martin guitar he grabbed off the wall here at AllenMusicShop.com in Paducah, Kentucky, and pretty Martin guitar. And what are you gonna play for us, Josh?
Have I done? We probably should go back through our episodes and see what I have done in the past, so I don't do it again. But have I done Cold on the Shoulder?
I don't think so.
Do you remember if I've done that or not?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and do it this time. And if we end up, that's a good song to be doubled. So not a big deal. Have you heard the original?
No.
The Gordon Lightfoot version?
No.
It is very cool.
I'll have to give that a listen.
Yeah. There's a little turnaround thing that they do that is pretty cool, but it's funky. It's got a nice beat to it, It's like all you need is time. All you need is time to make it bend. It's cool, man. I really like it.
Some funky bluegrass.
Yeah, it's
some
cool,
funky
man.
grass.
This was one of the first Tony Rice kickoff licks, whatever, that I had learned. This was one that when I was growing up, played a lot of music with a fellow that's just a couple of years older than me by the name of Jamie Jameson. And he was the one that I've talked about in other interviews and stuff. He had gotten the Tony Rice, an intimate lesson with Tony Rice on homespun videos. And that was like, you can still see some parts of it that's on YouTube and stuff. I don't even know if you can get the thing anymore, but it was so cool. It came with tablature, and it was just literally the best, showing of right and left hand, what Tony's doing. It was just such a cool video. But he was in his prime too, man. His voice was amazing. His playing was at its peak. It's crazy. It's just so good. But this, because of Jamie learning it, I kind of just sat around with the other guitar and kind of mimicked what he was doing. So we'll do it real slow. So it's in B flat. So if you got your instrument out, capo on the 3rd fret.
All right.
So Tony's thing goes like this. So that's the break. So this chord is about to drive me nuts. Will you hold that back? Hold my chord, please. Thank you very much. So here we go. I'll do a little cold on the shoulder for you. Oh, shoot. I'm going to play it again. All you need is time. All you need is time, time, time to make it bend. Give it a try, don't be rude. Put it to the test and I give it right back to you. It's cold on the shoulder, and you know that we get a little older every day. Kick it around, take it to town, try to define what you feel inside. You better be strong, your love belongs to us. It's cold on the shoulder, and you know that we get a little older every day. All we need is trust. All we need is trust, trust, trust to make it show. I don't want to know everything you done. If you get a tip, then tell it to the Eskimo. It's cold on the shoulder, and you know that we get a little older every day. Faith, all we need is faith, faith, faith to make it nice. I don't want to know everything you done. If you're gonna make a mistake, don't you make it twice. It's cold on the shoulder, and you know that we get a little older every day. It's cold on the shoulder, and you know that we get a little older every day.
Oh, man. I feel funkified right there, man.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. I messed up that last verse. So for all of y'all listening that are saying, oh, you sang the wrong words right there, I sang the wrong words right there. So
Well, it happens every now and then.
all you need is faith. All you need is faith.
That's
Faith,
it.
faith to make it nice.
Got to have faith. That's George Michael, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. Wasn't that the Wham?
I think so. Like, that was the Wham.
Well, you got to have faith.
Faith to faith to faith. Got to have faith to faith to faith. Oh, the bluegrass train has plumb gone off the rails right here. That's for sure.
There's room for all. in
Oh, my
bluegrass.
goodness. That's right. That is right.
Did you ever hear John Hartford's poem that he put on the on Bela Fleck's Bluegrass Sessions album, Tales from the Acoustic Planet, Volume 2?
No, I did not. Is this the story behind the song?
No, no. It was called "Do You Have Room in Your Heart for the 5-String Banjo?" That plunking sound. Is there room in your heart for the 5-string banjo? It's round. It goes on this whole big thing, man. So John Hartford was an amazing man. I don't know what made that pop into my head, but it sure did.
No doubt. There's some random stuff pops in there.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, there's some weird stuff happening. Don't walk around by yourself after dark up there in this mind.
It is a little scary.
It's a dangerous place.
Speaking of dangerous places, we're going to talk to Danny Roberts here in a minute, and we're going to go some dangerous places because we're going to get him to tell some stories on you.
On me?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Because it's fun.
Okay. I'm sure I know he's got one for sure that he can share.
Yeah.
But, man, I've known Danny so long. The first time I ever saw Danny Roberts play mandolin, I was just like, whoa, because I never heard anybody play like that.
Yeah.
Danny plays like no one else on the face of the planet.
Well, when he worked on my last year at Spigma, I went to Nashville, took my mandolin to him, and he did some setup on it and some work, some fret, refret, whatever, my Weber mandolin. And I picked it up a couple days later at the end of Spigma, and he brought it to my hotel. We met in the lobby, and we were just chatting and shooting a breeze, and he said, well, check it out. I'm like, no, I mean, that's good. I'm sure it sounds great. He goes, no, and he pulls it out, and he starts playing, and he just, just going to town on it. I said, man, that does sound good. And he goes, here, play it. I went, no, I'm good.
Did you go get your capo?
Shut your face. Oh
my goodness.
I hate you so bad. You and Dalton Harper both
Oh
are
my
jerks.
gosh. Man, I opened up that mandolin case and found that capo.
The story is I loaned Josh my Weber mandolin to play a gig with Dalton Harper and Colton Baker. And
There's multiple gigs.
There was a
turned out to be.
little, I had a capo in the thing down below because when I play at church, it just makes things easier. And then trying to transpose some of those crazy E-flat chords and things that the church singers want to sing in. So anyway, I should have taken that out before I loaned it to you because I've never heard the end of it.
Well, actually, there's plenty of people that have used those. I know there's even a couple of cuts of, I know Sierra Hull's used it. There's cuts with of Skaggs, on his records where he's got it. It's just
I feel a little better.
It's a thing. It's just like, not many people do that. If it helps a track, that's one thing. I mean that can be really cool. But
well, when you're not a very accomplished mandolinist like me, then sometimes you just have to make do. So
yeah, does that make you more of a mandoliner?
Yeah, I'm a mandoliner, that's for sure.
Or a mandoliner?
Yeah, that's what I need to be, a mandoliner. That's for sure.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, before I slap you, let's go to another commercial break. No, we'll be back and talk to Danny Roberts after this.
Don't hit me. Give it out.
No, I'm going to hit you, man. Unlimited Graphics in La Center, Kentucky is a full-service advertising specialty product company specializing in custom printing, screen printing, embroidery, and promotional products. Our job is to make your job easier. For almost 40 years, we have been serving customers all across America and would welcome the opportunity to earn your business no matter where you're located. Visit us online at unlimitedgraphics.com, and remember, promoting your business is our business.
For over 50 years, Puckett's Jewelry in Benton, Kentucky has been a trusted choice for fine jewelry that will last a lifetime and help you celebrate life's most precious moments. The new owners, Bart and Hannah Lewis, are excited to continue the Puckett's Jewelry legacy in Marshall County and are proud to support bluegrass music. Puckett's Jewelry on the Square in Benton, Kentucky. Visit them online at puckettsjewelry.com.
Craving the cheesiest pizza in town? Look no further than Mimi's Pizza and Subs in La Center, Kentucky. Our pizzas are loaded with melted cheese and fresh toppings that'll make your taste buds dance. But that's not all. At Mimi's, they have live music, including some of the best bands in bluegrass music. Whether you're a bluegrass fan or just love a good slice, Mimi's Pizza and Subs is your go-to destination. Mimi's Pizza and Subs, where every pizza is a masterpiece.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Hometown Bluegrass
Hello.
Show. I am here with 20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year, Mr. Josh Williams.
Yeah, that is me.
I
Glad
am
to be here.
0-time Guitar Player of the Year, Tim Batts, and we are honored to have the mandolin extraordinaire from the Grascals, founding member Danny Roberts, with us. How are you, buddy?
Buddy, I'm great. Tickled to death to be with you all tonight.
Man, we're glad. We really wanted to talk to Andrea or Jay Lee, but if you're the only
don't
one
say
home,
that.
I guess we'll talk to you.
That's actually not true. And you can tell Andrea this because, again, she's the big sister I never wanted.
Yeah.
I did send it to you first.
Well, we had Greg Cahill on last week, and Josh and Greg were throwing Andrea under the bus bad. So.
Now, that's not true. We weren't throwing her under the bus. But
there were some bus stories.
Yes. Well,
sure.
there was a conversation about the air conditioning in the Special C van and, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that had to change.
Yeah, you know how that is. You've rode in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, how is the life with the Grascals right now? You guys are just busy and tearing it up with all kind of new music.
Yeah, it's going great. We got, got the new album that'll be coming out later this year, and I think the third single has just been released off. Let's see, is it released or let's see, it's going to be released. I think this coming Friday, or maybe it was released last Friday.
Just Let Me Know was released in January, and then Pull the Trigger was in April, and so there's another one coming out.
No, Pull the Trigger was the one I thought it was.
Yeah, it was released April the 19th.
You know what? I've got one coming out next week. That's what it is.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome.
We're just tickled with the Grascals. We after this is our 20th year, and
congratulations.
It's hard to make anything 20 years, and this has been going 20. And getting Jamie Johnson back in the band, he's been back a little over a year now.
Yeah,
has been just it's just there's no way to put words to how important he always was to the band. And even when he was out of the band for the 8 years he was gone, he still worked behind the scenes with us, with sponsorships, with songs, with a lot of things, even though he wasn't on the road. But having him back out on the road has been great. Everybody loves him, and we're sick to death with him. And then about the same time he came in, we changed fiddle players, and Jamie Harper playing fiddle with us. And that guy, I couldn't imagine anybody fitting any more perfect with us. He has come in, and it's just, he fits us. Everybody loves him on and off the stage, and we're just having a great time. It's we're not trying to kill ourselves on the road anymore. We're more if it makes sense, we go, and if it don't, everybody's got other things that we're doing, so we're worried about the quality instead of the quantity of stuff these days. And just enjoying it, just enjoying it.
Well, I'm telling you, man, the energy that you guys have just radiates from the stage whenever you guys play. It's awesome. It's really awesome to see.
Yeah, we appreciate that. That's one of the things we have a great time. We just always have. It's one of the things that from the beginning of the Grascals, it's one of the things we said we were going to do music. We weren't going to put ourselves in any kind of a hole. We were going to do whatever songs everybody likes and have a good time doing it. And man, if you're doing that, there's no reason not to get up there and let people know that, hey, I'm tickled to death to be here, and you should realize I am too, And I think if you have a good time, we know this. If you have a good time up there, they will too. So it's
well, you guys obviously have a great time. It's early May when we record this, and I saw you guys at Spigma in January, and it was just amazing, the energy, like Josh said, that you guys bring to the stage, and with John's vocals and everybody's it's just amazing, the camaraderie and the connection you guys have. You can just feel it.
Well, I think a lot of that did come back when Jamie came back.
Yeah.
He came back a completely new man and walking a new path, and just so proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was just a couple of weeks ago, he was 9 years sober. He got his 9-year coin, and he's been, when he left the band, he was in rehab in a place out in Texas. Actually, when he was out of the band, and when he got out of rehab, he never had a relapse. He's never drank again or any kind of issues like that. And he's just been, I think his his new lease on life, he realized what it was for him, and he has really stuck with it. And he travels when a lot of the times when we're not on the road, he's on the road going to these treatment centers. He goes and gives us testimony, sings for them, and actually sits down with the people there and helps them to write songs. He writes songs with them so that they can kind of maybe express what they feel and stuff. So he's given back to, thankful for the help he's got, and he's trying to give back for it also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've said it on here before, Tim. You have to give it away in order to keep it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting to me that, Josh and Jamie's stories are similar a little bit in the way they line up and how they both recovered, and it's just a happy ending for sure.
It is. I tell you what, more times than not, it doesn't end happy. And so
yeah, you're right.
It does. Jamie tells me a lot about it, and the statistics are really tough on, people that actually make it and don't. It's like, boy, thankful for both of you guys. It's thank God for his help. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Darren Nicholson on a few weeks ago, and he talked about the same thing. So it's good. Those are three great happy ending stories for sure.
Well, God did for us what we could not do for ourselves. So that's how that goes.
Yep.
Way it goes in life.
yeah, no doubt. So you've got new music coming out from yourself here pretty soon then.
I do. Yeah. I got another single I've got a CD that's been recorded for quite a while now in the can. I think this will be maybe the fourth single off of it. And it's a gospel song, and it's one that Daryl Mosley wrote many years ago. And I'm excited about it. Of course, Andrea's playing bass on the record with me, and
cool.
She and Jaylee harmonies on the song with me, and buddy Tony Ray's playing actually guitar and banjo on it. So we just had a great time recording it, and being a song that me and Daryl we recorded this with New Tradition, way back 30 years ago sometime. This song that we've written, and I just got to thinking that I liked it, and I would record it again. So we did it, and people enjoyed it.
Well, that's so cool.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the New Tradition was my favorite band growing up. And they had some wild days there musically for a little bit, it's so funny how it started off one way, but when the band actually was done, it was extremely traditional sounding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's, I tell you, we went through a lot of stuff with that group, and I think a lot of the times with what we did, we were a little bit ahead of times. I think if what we were doing started now, it would have probably hit a lot better. And I don't know. It's hard to say. I listen back to things that we recorded, and I'll hear live shows and do things, and it's like, I didn't realize, honestly, that it's as good as it was. You listen to yourself and you always think you're fighting and battling, trying to do better. But I listen back and it's like, we were doing some really good music, and of course the biggest lion's share of it was gospel music, but it definitely had there was a lot of it had the Bluegrass feel to it at times, and some of it Boston feel, but there was, you never knew what we might do. We never knew what we might do.
That core group, though, of you and Richie Dotson on the banjo, and of course Daryl was playing electric bass during that time, most of the time, and then Fred Duggan on guitar. That was the first time. That was the band that I saw for the first time, and you guys were absolutely killing it. And Richie was playing like nobody else back then. I mean, he was so good. Looked like the California Raisin. You guys all kind of look like the California Raisins in some of these pictures, but in the old Seed of Love, the Seed of Love cover, that's the one, Love Here Today, which is a song that you wrote, isn't it?
It is. That's right.
Yeah.
We're looking at old New Tradition album covers online right now while we talk about this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, y'all some colorful shirts.
I had this one. I had this one. I had this one. I had this one. I had all of these.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Plant the seed of love in your heart, son.
That's it. Josh has come up to me many times and said, remember when you played this? And he played something on the mantle? And I'm like, no. And he was like, this is that instrumental you wrote. I'm like, well, I'm glad you can remember it because
That's old. No part of nothing.
yeah. It's so fun.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is the story that I've always heard about that true? Did Monroe? Did you play that for Bill and he named it, or did you just name it because it was just a different sounding tune?
I just named it that way.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
For the longest time, it was going around that you played it for Bill, and Bill said, "That ain't no part of nothing," and you said, "Okay."
Yeah. You know, he just said, "What is that diddly do stuff?" But
well, both of y'all sound just like him.
I'll tell you, he was a dandy. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Well, we are the Hometown Bluegrass Show, so we like to feature a hometown in every episode. And so tonight we decided before we got you on earlier, we talked about Litchfield was our hometown that we recognized in tonight's episode. So.
Oh wow, that's I'm familiar with that hometown.
Yeah, that's what we were wondering. That's kind of where it all started, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
So, what was it like growing up in Litchfield, Kentucky?
Well, it was just it's of course a small town, but the cool thing about there is I had of course never played anything, and nobody in my family really played, and we moved to Litchfield when I was leaving 5th grade. So we moved there, and our farm kind of set up on top of the hill, and Jimmy Mattingly, the fiddle player, their farm laid down in the holler below us. Mm-hmm. And so we went to school together, and, we can get on the bus. He always had his fiddle with him because they had that orchestra in our school. We were in middle school then, and they had an orchestra that started in grade school and went to middle school, high school. And this orchestra teacher, he was just really good at getting these kids to play, having a big orchestra. And then Jimmy being there and his dad being an old time fiddler, he started playing fiddle tunes. And I mean, it just turned into, from Mattingly, there was Ed Carnes and Eric Payton and Mark Ralph. And then like Steve Day, he went to school there. He was in the orchestra. There's been Matt Flake, many years. He's way younger than the rest of us, but he came up through that. Mm-hmm. So that through that orchestra was a huge influence on so many people. And so I when I was 12 years old, I broke my hip, and so I couldn't go to school. I had to be homeschooled, and I was at home, and that's when I decided I would maybe try to play an instrument. And my dad had bought an old Silvertone guitar from somebody at work one time. Why, I don't know. And it was under the bed. I went and got it out and started banging around on it and could play tunes. And so when I started to learn to play, Jimmy and I had become really good friends. And he, when he realized I was going to start trying to play, he said, "Well, I got something I want you to do." And he started showing me fiddle rhythm chords. And I remember I went down to his house one day, and he'd taken an 8-track, had an 8-track recorder, and he'd recorded like 4 fiddle tunes in D, 4 in G, 4 in A, and showed me the chords. And I sat there and practiced those chords. And it took me, I started playing real soon at contests with Ed Carnes and Eric Payton and Mark Ralph, especially Carnes and Payton. Mark Ralph's dad played with him a lot of times, but those two guys, I started playing with them really shortly after I started playing. And then about probably a couple of years in, then I started playing with Jimmy. So I was playing with him when he won the Grandmasters and all that, most all the bigger stuff that he won. And just, it was such a great thing just having him there and just having my best friend. And I mean, we were either picking or fishing or hunting or something all the time. Mm-hmm. And there music there for us, having each other to bounce that off of. So there's no putting a value on what that was for me. But Litchfield was a great place for musically like that. And of course, just small town, and that's where all my family lived. So it's mom's still there, and both one sister lives there, she's Hardensburg, so she's not far away. So most of my family is still there.
Yeah.
So it's
that's cool.
It'll always be home.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it's not far from, where we are here around the Paducah, Kentucky area, just a couple hours away. So we're definitely familiar. Of course, anybody who's traveled the West Kentucky Parkway from Paducah to Louisville or Lexington or whatever. Been through
It goes
Litchfield.
to Elizabethtown. We've been through this.
Yeah,
stops in
I know. I
Elizabethtown.
was just talking about people who've been on the WK Parkway, been through Litchfield. So,
Okay, boys, y'all fight over it.
Change back.
yeah,
Change back.
he's cocky tonight. I'm gonna have to pull one of these guns out of this cabinet.
Hey,
or
whoa,
something.
that's a little harsh there, don't you think?
Hate to see you boys fall out tonight.
Oh man. So what's it like with for those who don't know, your daughter Jaylee, 23 years old now, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
she turned 20.
So you and your wife Andrea have spent a lifetime in the music industry, and now she's come up and playing just everywhere and band and solo. And how's that adjustment been?
Already had her first nomination for IBMA Female Vocalist, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
That's unbelievable.
And she won female vocals at Spigma, which was, I tickled to me to do.
Well, of course.
I've quickly become Jaylee's dad.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine. It's just like, when I go to shows, it never fails now. Everywhere I'm at, several people will come to me and say, "Now you're Jaylee's dad." I said, "That's me." That's my most honored name I'll ever go with. But yeah, it's just there's, with just watching her do what she does, she loves it. She's never wanted to do anything else. The child has been singing. Literally, she was singing by the time she could talk. She always could play anything she wanted, but she never did. I mean, she's a great rhythm guitar player and stuff, but she just singing is what she wanted to do. And I mean, she was a very good fiddle player and stuff, and she just never really, she played contests when she was little bitty and got out of that. And then she played fiddle with Rebecca on the road a little bit and this and that. But then she just wanted to be a singer. And in my opinion, she's pretty doggone good at it. And it's fun to just watch her. She's doing so well, and everybody seems to be just kind of really enjoying what she's doing. And I'm excited to see where she goes in the future. I hope to see her be able to do way bigger things than I've ever managed to do. So she's.
I don't know if that's possible, but I'm telling you, she's being the front. For those who don't know, being the front singer for Sister Sadie, and her solo career, and just all her new music coming out, and she's got some good stuff. I mean, her latest single, "Stuck in the Middle with You." Now, that's pretty cool. Remake of that song. Yeah,
she that whole record. Andrea and I have always pretty well stayed. When she started recording, she started doing stuff. The first record, we helped her put the band together, and Tim Serrett, he produced it with her and stuff. And we were there and just kind of on the edges watching, but I said, you're going to play? I said, no, I'm not going to play on it. And we want this to be your thing. I don't want anybody to go, well, Daddy's on it, Mama's doing this. Like, no, we're not. We're letting her do it. But this record was, she, along with the record label, they picked out the producer, they picked out the band, they did everything they're doing, the songs and everything. So when she came home and played us that "Stuck in the Middle," I was like, wow, that is something. And, it's so different, but it's still, it's just the way she sang it, just to me is pretty amazing. I think it just shows the versatility what she can do. She can do things from straight traditional gospel and straight country stuff to, she can sing Whitney Houston if she wants to. So it's like she does everything and always has, So
that's what impressed me about it was, some of her songs sound country, and of course her gospel songs are amazing, and just her traditional bluegrass voice is second to none. And then this came out, and it was like, wow, she can just sing the phone book or whatever. It doesn't matter,
Yeah, she's got a wide range of different things she can do. I mean, and she listens to everything from Frank Sinatra to Whitney Houston to traditional. She loves everything from Del McCurry and all the way to Newgrass Revival. It's just, there's nothing that she don't listen to. It's pretty amazing. What she does. It's just okay. She listens to way more music than I ever have. More like Josh. There's nothing he don't know either. So,
oh Lord, yeah, we were. He was singing Gordon Lightfoot earlier, and then we went into some George Michael or something.
Yeah, something happened. I'm not sure what happened.
I don't know what else.
You just gotta have faith.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he did. He said, "You got to have faith," and I said, "Is that George Michael?" And then he starts singing and playing it, and I'm like, "Oh Lord!"
There you go.
It's a bluegrass show. I had to reel it in a little bit.
Actually, that could work.
Yeah.
If you sat down with it and made it, that could possibly work. Anyway, I'm just going off on a tangent here.
Next single.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Danny, man, it's so good to talk to you. And just, I got one thing I want to ask you. You've been 20 years on the road. I mean, how?
He's been more than that.
Well, I know, but just with the Graskels alone, I mean, so what, being on the road, I know Josh has spent so many years on the road with Rhonda and all. I mean, what's it like just traveling that long with the same group of people? And
well, it just gets to be like your family.
Yeah.
It's just, hopefully you like them. That's
right. Right.
It's so funny. You definitely, when you're out there, you tend to some personalities just hit, and people are just like, man, we're together, and other personalities like, so even just like you are with your family, some people you want to be around more than you do others. And it's the way it is with I think one of the things you got to do, a band is like being married to 5 or 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many people in the band. It's like you're married to them, and you've got to give and take. There's times when, if you're going to keep a band together, you got to bite your tongue, because there'll be times when you want to choke somebody out, and it's like, this is going to do no good. And the same way, everybody has to, you have to take the good and the bad, and always try to meet in the middle if you have issues and stuff. Because if you don't, there's really the only way, especially if you've got a band that's like the Graskels, where it's not bosses. We were all 6 in the beginning, all equal partners, and you don't have one boss that just tells everybody what to do. You've got to figure out a way to get along, and one of the things we figured out early on is that we couldn't, it didn't work very well to try to talk any business in emails or texts, because they're so easy to take out of context,
right? Exactly.
Of what you're doing. Somebody could say, I don't want to do that. And if they're looking you in the face, they might be saying to you, I don't really want to do that.
Yep.
And the thing, you might read it as, I don't want to do that.
Right.
And it's just like, all of a sudden you're getting your back bowed up over something and mad, and nobody's mad. You've just gotten frustrated with it. And so that's one of the things we stopped we stopped doing business over emails way early on. It's like, we're going to get together and have them talk about what it is, because that kind of stuff goes away. You just have to figure out what works with people, and it's got to go out. I think so much of it is just being, just respect. If you respect the people that you're on the road with, and they'll respect you back, and then you can actually get along, and that's just the life of it, is getting along. Because if you're out there and you're miserable, you're not going to stay there. Something's going to have to give, and that's one of with us, with the Graskels. It's been fortunate. Everybody have always been good friends. We had some tough times with the drinking and the stuff, with when Jamie went through and the things that Eldridge went through and stuff. But the thing is, through that, we still loved each other like brothers and family, and stuck together and tried to help instead of not judging, trying to, like, what can we do to get better? What do we need to do here? And so that's, I think that's just it. You just have to be willing to give and take, take the good and the bad.
So what I think I hear you say is basically you got to have faith. No, sorry.
That's exactly. And if you have the right thing, it's going to work.
That's right. That's right. Sorry, I've been waiting to do that for a long time.
I got it.
It worked out.
Yes, it did. We did.
We're going to take a quick break so I can get Josh's meds here. Oh man! So surely you got some kind of good story on Josh that you can tell everybody. I mean, is there any kind of good dirt or funny story that he?
Something I learned a long time ago is you just don't tell stories on people and you stay in good humor.
There you go.
That's right.
He got me earlier, Danny, because you worked on my mandolin, my Weber mandolin, which I did want to plug your business. Off the bench, right?
Just off the
bench, baby. That's right. Well, I had you work on my Weber mandolin and did an amazing job on that. Well, Josh had to borrow that Weber mandolin, and I think the only reason he borrowed it to play a few gigs recently was because I told him you had set it up and worked on it, and so. But anyway, I had messed up, and when I loaned it to him, I left a mandolin capo in the.
It was a banjo capo
pouch, but in the case, yeah. And he found it, and him and Dalton Harper gave me so much crap over this mandolin capo.
Over your capo,
yeah.
Oh, that's
great. And you had my mandolin for several days, and you didn't say anything about it. So I was a true friend there. So.
Well, I got pictures of it, and I've got it on the wall here and laughing at it.
Oh Lord, have mercy! No, that's a large possibility. Oh man,
that is so funny.
Yeah, that's funny. So funny.
So funny.
Yeah, I'm just laughing.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Oh goodness!
Danny was the first one that told me that he heard Dalton Harper and said he sounded like me.
Yeah.
He was the first one that ever told me that. Like, really?
Yeah, I told Josh that a couple years ago, and we were eating supper one night, and he's like, somebody else told me that, and now here he is playing. He played a few gigs with Dalton a couple weeks ago. So
the first time I heard Dalton on the radio, I said, well, it's a new song of Josh. I hadn't heard this, and then it went on a little bit, and I thought, boy, it sounds a little different, but that's got to be Josh.
Mm-hmm.
What? But he does. I think he has definitely listened to Josh a lot.
Yeah.
In his learning to sing and stuff, because he's got the same inflections and his tone is so close and stuff. But I think the thing about it is he sings. I think he really tries to sing, the tight moves and things that Josh does. What makes him sound a lot alike.
Yeah. When the first time that we played together was the Sunday morning at that church down in Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were driving back home, of course I had the kids with me, so it was me and my mom and my three kids. And I said something about, people say that he kind of sounds like me. And all three of my kids and my mom were all like, oh my gosh, he sounds just like you. I thought, it was just like, whoa, it's like all of opened a can of something, and yeah.
That's funny.
Mom said that while we were playing, that Whitley was just leaned over to her and said, I thought Daddy was singing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so there you go.
Right.
That's right.
Well, we had Dalton on our podcast several weeks ago, and we were talking to him, and I asked him, I said, Dalton, I got to ask you. I said, a lot of people think that say that you sound like Josh Williams. Do you think it's true? And he said, well, what I want to know is, do people tell Josh Williams he sounds like Dalton Harper?
It won't be long.
Yeah, they might have if he hadn't been, 15 years younger or whatever.
Right, so. Exactly.
What makes me feel good is they also say that we look alike. And that's not so good for Dalton because I'm 43, but I apparently look like a 30-year-old, so that kind of makes me feel a little bit better.
There you go.
There you go. That's always good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
He either looks old or you look young. We won't get into which one it is.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Oh man.
Oh,
well, you guys have lots of dates lined up. I'm looking at your website right now, graskels.com, and so people can go check out and find out where you're playing. And one date that stands out to me particularly, Josh and I are really excited about, is October the 5th. You guys are going to be back with us at our Jackson Purchase Friends of Bluegrass, the River Folk Fest in Calvert City, Kentucky. So we're excited to have y'all back for the second year in a row for that.
We're excited about it too. It was fun last year. It was a good time.
It was our first year to do that little festival, and it's growing. It's gone get a little bigger this year, so we're hoping for that thing will hopefully just keep going each and every year. And the community really has stepped up and put a lot of work into that. So we're hoping it just gets bigger every year. So.
I hope so, man. We need more shows and more shows getting bigger too. So that's great.
That's right.
We lost during COVID. There's still so many shows gone that that we used to play, and we need more shows coming back to help take the place of them.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're going to work hard to keep this one going, and hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger. So.
Yeah, and everybody that was there demanded to have the Graskels back again. Yeah. So you guys really made an impression there. So thank you.
Yeah, the city of Calvert. I was talking to her the other day, the lady that's in charge of that and of tourism, and I was telling her what bands that I asked to come back, and she said, "Now, why did you have the Graskels come back again this year?" I said, "Because we love them. Because people love them. That's why." She was like, "Oh, okay." So
we'll just make an annual thing. We'll come back every year. You'll have us.
That's right. Exactly.
We'll do it.
Well, I want to ask you one last question for the folks. Just you've been in the music industry for so long and all your life, really. And, if you could go back and talk to, say, 15, 16-year-old Danny Roberts, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to him?
Is this a real question?
Yeah.
I'm really asking serious?
Yeah.
You know what? You might think this is crazy, but I don't really have any regrets of anything I've done. I'm so thankful for every opportunity I've had and everything that's come in from the time I started playing contests all the way through to New Tradition and the competitions and stuff. But if there was one thing I would tell myself is that when you're doing really well in a really good band and you have an opportunity to do something if you've got a child and you have an opportunity to do something that you can't get back, put the child in front of the band and go do that.
Absolutely.
When Jaylee was little, I don't know the exact size, Graskels, we were playing constantly, Dolly Parton and all this stuff was going on, and we were it was just like everyday thing. And we had a trip planned to go to Disney. She was going to do all of the princess things. She had everything you could name we were going to do, and she had it lined up to do it. And she was at the perfect age to do that. And something came up, and I let that come ahead of it and said, well, we'll cancel that and we'll go back a later time. And that later time never happened. And that if I regret in my life, I think of that time because she was never that small again. She was never at that perfect age again. And then of course the rescheduling, she never got to Disney till she was probably a teenager, and it was like, so it was so different. So I just, I don't have any regrets for what I do, except something like that is like, it's serious, but for me, your family needs to be more serious than that. When you come an opportunity, there's always somebody that can fill in for you. There's always somebody that can. I used to feel like if I'm not, I have to be there. I cannot miss a date. And as I've got older, I realized, you know what? I can miss a date. I am not unreplaceable. There's always somebody that can come fill in and take the place and do this, and I can go do something else that I need to do, and that's one of the things I really feel like is important is don't sacrifice your family and your home for the band. That's for me.
Absolutely.
That's for me.
I'm sitting beside a man who takes that serious as well, because he's done the same thing here recently.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you're out on the road like he was with Rhonda Vincent, there is no family life. It's just run in, see somebody a few minutes, and you're out. And it's tough. You got to make a decision as to what it's going to be, because them young ones are only young a little while.
Man, that's so true.
They're sitting in a car seat learning to talk, and then you blink your eye, and they're 23 years old on the road with a band themselves. And it's like, wow, goes but so. so fast.
It does. It goes fast. I mean, we have a motto. You know, my sister Angela Merle, and when we lost our dad a couple of years ago, we had a pact, and we said family first, and that's what we always have agreed upon. And even though she lives in Charleston, South Carolina, and I live in Western Kentucky, we just family is always first. And that's the motto we try to live with, and I know you guys do the same. So.
It's I don't think you'll ever be sorry for that,
Yeah.
Don't ever get to the end of your life and think, man, I just wish I'd have spent more time on the road and less time with my family.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think, so, but I'm for all of it. I'm thankful for everything opportunity I've had on the road and with the bands and stuff. And then I'm just so thankful for my family, and lost my dad back last year around Thanksgiving. And it's just so bizarre to think of him being gone. It's just like, it was always there. It's like, I don't know if I ever really had to ask my dad for anything from the time I left home, but it was like, I always knew that if I needed to, it was there. Whatever I needed him, he'd be there. And it's so weird that to think, well, he's not there now. And it's you guys know what I'm talking about. And,
oh my gosh, yes.
It's just it's a tough thing.
It is. Well, all three of us have lost our dads, and we all know exactly what you mean. So, you're a blessed man, and you have a blessed family. You have a wonderful family. Good Lord, we love you guys so much, and I would I'd like to play a song, and you can decide, do you want to play a Graskell song or Danny Roberts song or Jaylee Roberts song or whatever. But we like to play a song as we leave you, and so you can just decide what do you think we want to play.
Real quick, but while he's deciding that, I do want to say something before we get done here. I want to say, Danny, thank you for all of the time that I've got to spend with you over the years, and you were a hero of mine, and then became a very dear friend, and you married the sister I never wanted. And but anyway, thank you for all the times on the road with Special C, and New Tradition, traveling to the same places, and just always hanging out and everything. Always be cool, I just want you to know that all of that goes. It didn't go unseen. Like I definitely appreciate everything that you did, especially in my younger days when I was growing up. So thank you.
Well, if I was ever able to help you, I hope it did. But that's one of the things that I think all of us need to do too, is just when you have younger musicians coming up and stuff, man, you need to be there and support them, and, give them support and help them and talk to them and be with them, because they're scared to death. I remember how it was brand new came up. One of the things I remember so well, and I'll never forget, I was New Tradition, and we had just started playing some festivals and stuff. I was in Kansas at a Bluegrass festival, and Doyle Lawson was there. And I was standing backstage, and Doyle come walking back there. And of course, I felt like Elvis was walking up there, And he walked over and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, Danny, how are you doing?" And I almost fainted. I thought, not only did Doyle Lawson speak to me, he knows my stinking name. And it was like, that meant so much to me, and Doyle has never been anything but super, super nice to me from that first time that I got to talk with him. And I try to be that way with anybody, any of the kids and stuff. But good night, you're always like one of my kids. Just came, I've known you since you first started. Well, yeah, when you did first start playing.
You actually did, yeah. I was about 10. I met you guys, and I met Petticoat Junction roughly about the same time.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But it's great. That's what I like about our music, is it is like a big family, and people keep it that way. But
yeah, that's why we love doing the show.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it, man. We appreciate that. But I mean, if you want to play something, you play my last single if you want to from my record. If you've got it, that Small Town America.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to play that? Be fine. I'll give you a plug instead of the Graskells. Hey.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you're the one that's on here, not everybody else, right?
Everybody plays the Graskells. Come on.
I mean, I know. I mean, we called Jamie Johnson, but he didn't answer, so we called.
Oh, that's not true. Stop that.
Actually, we called Kristen first, but no.
Stop it. We called Danny first.
Well, thank you, man. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little bit, and wish you guys a lot of success this year and lots of fun, and keep picking that good bluegrass music, buddy.
We'll sure do it. Appreciate you guys. It was great talking with y'all.
Well, sure love you, man. Thank you for your time.
All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you.
All
you
right,
bet, buddy.
Bye-bye. And now here's Small Town America by Danny Roberts.
A man's good word is all he needs down at the corner store. And old men at the courthouse, they're greeting all the folks they know. Their little kids stare through the window of the dime store on the square. And the ice cream at the drugstore, well, it's the best anywhere. Small town America, friends and family stopping by. Small town America, where everyone takes their time. They go to church when the doors are open and help a friend out in a bind. Small town America, a way of life being left behind. When the new Walmart store moved in, people couldn't wait to go. Then 6 short months later, the dime store closed its doors. And now the square looks like a ghost town. All the windows are boarded up. They say progress has to make a way, but when's enough enough? A little white church and an altar where everyone knelt to pray. All day singings and dinner on the grounds. Lord, I miss those days. Small town America, friends and family stopping by. Small town America, where everyone takes their time. They go to church when the doors are open and help a friend out in a bind. Small town America, a way of life being left behind. They go to church when the doors are open and help a friend out anytime. Small town America, a way of life being left behind.
And there's Small Town America by Danny Roberts, the mandolin player for the Grascals, and just an all-around great guy.
That was so cool hearing Andrea and Jaylee sing with him. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. What a great family. Just love those guys so much, and they've just all contributed so much to bluegrass music.
And they really have. Danny has really done a lot in the genre because of, you know, the different bands that he's had and the hard work that he's put in. You know, I mean, he's a fantastic player, but the words of Ralph Stanley, but you know, you got to be a man to go with it, and he is. You know,
Yeah, he's walked the walk and lived it. That's for sure. He's a pure heart and just a pure musician and singer, and just does an amazing job. So,
well, he sure does.
if you get a chance to go see the Grascals, you need to take it. Just check them out at grascals.com. And hey, come to Calvert City October 5th and check them out at our festival.
Absolutely, man. I'm so looking forward to that. Although
Yeah.
I don't want to rush the summer.
No. That's
You know.
for sure. We need to get through the summer.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So,
Let's keep the warm weather for a while.
yeah, no doubt. Well, we've had a great show. It's been a good show, man.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
I have thoroughly enjoyed it.
You've been kind of mean to me tonight a
Well,
little bit. but-
you kind of had it coming, but excuse me. What I meant to say was, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's what you meant to say. I got you. Okay.
I guess I got a little emotional listening to that song with Andrea and Jay Lee singing with him. I mean, I've known them for so long and held Jay Lee as a baby. Just
Yeah.
Very cool. So proud of Danny and his family.
Yep. Well, I can tell that the song touched your heart for sure. So it's a beautiful song. So go check out Small Town America and stream that on Apple Music or Spotify, or get the CD from them at the show. And Danny puts out some great music and some
do
more
that.
music.
Definitely go see them live and buy the album, buy the CD.
Yep. That can help the artist more than you know, is to go buy a ticket to one of their shows and take home a CD or 3.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's for sure.
Man, I think we're doing good. I think this is something that we're supposed to be doing.
I think so too, man. I'm loving doing this Hometown Bluegrass show with you, man. I appreciate you putting up with me.
I appreciate you putting up with me.
Well, it's a challenge, but
Hey,
I'm
I
getting better at
understand,
it. I'm teasing with you, man. I love you doing it.
I know, buddy. I love you too. So,
Well, thanks
Anyway.
so much, everybody. We appreciate you listening to the Hometown Bluegrass show, brought to you by AllenMusicShop.com.
.com. We love you.
This has been a Bats Creative Audio production.